ADRA provides dignity in Ukraine and Australia in the midst of war and disadvantage. 4 new Adventist radio stations bring hope to Moldova. Robotic surgery at an Adventist hospital has given a promising athlete his future back in the United States. Pathfinders march with faith and service in the midst of social collapse in Haiti. All these stories and more to come on ANN. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Moldova, Eastern Europe, has launched 4 new radio stations that now broadcast across 95% of the population. The milestone marks more than just signal expansion. It is a bridge of faith in a region marked by social, political, and religious challenges.
In the small country situated between Romania and Ukraine, 4 new Hope Channel stations have come to life and started broadcasting. The radio stations in the cities of Comrat, Simishlia, Rezina, and Singarai are already on the air. Representatives from Adventist World Radio and local leaders work together to get the structure up and running. With 13 active stations, Hope Channel now reaches 95% of the population in Moldova. At the inauguration ceremony, pastors and technicians celebrated a historic milestone. The radio also reaches Gagausia, an autonomous region, mostly Orthodox, ethnically Turkish population. The station plans to produce programs in both Russian and Gagauz for local listeners.
As Haiti faces political instability and violence in the streets, an inspiring mobilization has taken hold of the country. Thousands of young people marched in uniform, not in protest, but as a testimony of faith, citizenship, and service. The Pathfinders' actions impacted entire communities.
Thousands of Pathfinders took to the streets of Pétionville and Carrefour with signs and songs, bringing hope, joy, and confidence in God. Throughout the week, they cleaned neighborhoods, delivered school kits, and distributed food. At Herman Church, a short film showed young people facing the crisis with faith and action. And on Sabbath, more than 50 baptisms demonstrated a commitment to continue loving and serving, even in the midst of chaos.
In Brazil, the Adventist Hospital of Pênfigo in Mato Grosso do Sul was officially recognized by the State Legislative Assembly. It received the Friend of Transplant Merit Award for saving lives with liver transplants. The recognition celebrates medical advancement and direct impact on the lives of dozens of patients.
At the solemn ceremony at the Legislative House, Director Everton Martin received the award on behalf of the Adventist Hospital of Pênfigo. In just 12 months, more than 50 liver transplants were performed. Dr. Gustavo Rapasi, the technical director of the transplant service, was also honored. The award affirms the hospital as a national benchmark in promoting life through organ donation and reinforces the Seventh-day Adventist Church's role in public health.
For 2.5 years, pain limited the performance of Chad Richards, a disabled athlete in the United States. However, after robotic surgery, a technology until recently only seen in movies, Richards came back stronger. The procedure was performed at the Adventist Hospital in Tampa.
I'm Chad Richards. I also compete in a sports league for people with disabilities. I dealt with a inguinal hernia for 2.5 years. It was quite rough, I would say. I would have to leave from work to go to the ER on a consistent basis to try to figure out why I was dealing with it.
The pain that Chad was experiencing had been limiting his workouts because he was a competitive athlete. And so all day, every day, this man was working out and feeling that pain, and he wasn't able to achieve the levels of success that he had been wanting to. So to treat the type of hernia that Chad had, he had what was called an inguinal hernia, so it's down in the groin. And generally the way that we treat it is either with watchful waiting, observing the symptoms that he has, but because it was so severe, I recommended a surgical approach. And those can be done either minimally invasive with 3 small cuts on the belly. So with Chad, we used sort of the newest and what I consider the best technique to repair inguinal hernias, which is a robotic approach. So we make 3 small cuts on the belly and blow it up and actually fix it from the inside.
I was truly blessed to have such a great doctor who who cares and loves his patients. I was super privileged to have him a part of my life at that point.
Seeing the transition from before to after surgery is truly one of the most rewarding things. And for Chad, he sort of blew it out of the water. He went from feeling this pain day in, day out, limiting him in the sports that he liked to compete in, to going back to doing and excelling in what he loves.
All the nurses, doctors, physicians, everybody that had their hands on it was super nice. I was very, very blessed to have the doctors and nurses that I did throughout my surgery. Back in the game, ready to win that gold medal, and let's get to the USA Games in 2026. Let's go.
In Australia, one of the most developed countries in the world, a woman struggling with anxiety, depression, and a severe neurological disorder faced days without food. She found not only food at ADRA, but also basic items, dignity, and support.
We would not have been able to eat for the next 2 or 3, 4 days if I didn't find somewhere or somebody to be able to offer us some sort of help. Well, I'm Kelly. So not only do I have mental health with anxiety and depression, I've also got what's called a functional neurological disorder. So if I'm extremely stressed or unwell, my body will have complete tic spasms and leaving me even to the point where I can't walk at times.
Supervan is almost like a mobile food pantry, if you like. Kelly started coming to us after her grandma had become sick and she had moved from foster to Wauchope in order to provide support to her grandma. And as a result, she was paying 2 rents and she literally had no money.
So we were financially stuck, and for 3 or 4 days I was worried how we were going to eat.
She ended up coming to Supervan with a lot of anxiety, but came anyway. And on that particular evening, which we don't always have washing liquid or washing powder, but on that particular evening we had washing liquid that someone had donated.
I'd been using shampoo to wash my clothes and had run out of that. To be able to go to bed that night with a warm belly and fresh, clean linen and clean clothes was absolutely amazing, and I was just so compelled and so thankful to reach out and let people know, thank you, you're doing a great job.
She still suffers with anxiety, but the only place that she actually feels comfortable is when she comes to Supervan.
I was given a hug to be welcomed and reassured with my anxiety that it's okay, I'm welcome and I'm safe there. So had I not attended that evening on that first soup night, our family situation, because our rental had almost doubled, we would not have been able to eat for the next 2 or 3, 4 days. I was so concerned where I was going to reach out or who I could reach out to for that little bit of extra help. There's no sufficient enough words to explain or describe how grateful and how thankful we are for all the help given to us from ADRA, and to think that it goes beyond just me, it helps the others in my immediate family. We're happy and healthy because we're being given such warmth and welcome and love. We know we're safe, so we just relax and enjoy everyone's company. Basically, we couldn't have done it without you. And thank you, but there's not enough thank yous to thank. We give them all to you.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, also known as ADRA, is the humanitarian agency of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and operates in more than 100 countries. Donate at adra.org and help transform lives. In Peru, Adventist students from Ecuador dedicated 10 days of their vacation to transform a community on the outskirts of Lima. The project combined renovation, evangelism, and practical service.
The group from the Adventist College of Ecuador served in the Ñaña neighborhood in Lima with strength, joy, and plenty of enthusiasm and the support of the Redención Church. Ñaña, a disadvantaged area of the Peruvian capital, has limited infrastructure and a high vulnerability index. The high school students and volunteers spent 10 days working on church renovations, painting, activities with children, and visiting families in the area. In addition to their actions, the group donated $1,000 to install window grills in the church and enhance security. They also conducted educational activities, worship services, and programs with teenagers. The activities included health workshops, emotional support, and group discussions with young people from the community. On Sabbath, they led an evangelistic evening. The experience also had a personal impact on the volunteers. Tears and gratitude marked their farewell. Pastor Edison Choque, leader of the church in northern Peru, thanked the group for their dedication and commitment. The mission is part of the strategy of the Adventist College of Ecuador to educate students to serve in school, church, and society.
Next, here in ANN, in Ukraine, the war has already destroyed entire cities. And even in the face of an increasingly brutal reality, ADRA remains on site, providing support and hope to the victims of the conflict. ANN will be back soon. Adventist schools in Southern Chile celebrated the month of the Bible. Institutions in the region emphasized the Bible as a reference for learning and reflection, promoting cultural and educational activities for students of all ages.
During September, schools in the Adventist educational system in Southern Chile promoted various activities to celebrate the month of the Bible. Parades, recitals, exhibitions, and dramatizations, including the story of Noah's Ark, involved students of different ages. The event also highlighted the date of September 26, 1569, when the first complete translation of the Bible into Spanish was completed. Known as the Bear Bible, that early translation led to the development of the Reina Valera version. The celebrations extended from Angol to Punta Arenas, with music, exhibitions, thematic contests, and spaces for reflection for students and families. The Bible has guided Adventist education since its origins, inspiring teachers and students to develop values that go beyond the classroom.
Ukrainian communities devastated by bombings have received assistance from students and staff of the Ukrainian Humanitarian Institute, an educational institution of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Ukraine.
A group of 20 students and 17 staff members cleaned streets and entrances of buildings damaged by Russian attacks. The work took place in Petropavlivska-Borshchahivka in the region of Kiev. Transportation was provided by Bukatrans Service Company, and lunch was prepared by Institute employees, Valentina and Vitaly Kostenka. According to the Regional Military Administration of Kiev, the attack damaged 6 buildings, more than 100 cars, and 14 houses, leaving 30 injured. Students and staff of the Seventh-day Adventist institution regularly participate in social actions, such as blood donations and support to affected communities.
In Brazil, Antonio Robstan Pereira da Silva, who is deaf, traveled over 1,400 kilometers and 22 hours to be baptized in a church fully accessible in Brazilian Sign Language Libras. He met Pastor José Erivaldo dos Santos Jr. through social media and was accompanied throughout the process in his language. The ceremony, conducted entirely in Libras, took place during the Blue September, a campaign that celebrates the culture, rights, and inclusion of the deaf community. In Peru, 2 women found hope through Nuevo Tiempo Radio. Gloria, upon hearing a song in the supermarket, began her journey of faith, studied the Bible, and was baptized in front of more than 40,000 people during the Hope is Jesus Caravan. The same programming also inspired Patricia Enriquez's family to accept Christ, showing how radio can touch hearts, spread hope, and transform lives anywhere. In Korea, the Week of Prayer for Family Unity brought families together across the country for worship, on testimonies, and Bible study. In the Central Eastern region, 92 families participated in the 3 Red Bible Reading Academy. In the Southeast, a 4-day online program encouraged daily worship. And in the Southwest, a 3-week online camp involved 84 children in worship and verse memorization. The programs helped families strengthen their faith at home, showing how parents' small steps can transform their children's spirituality and promote healing and restoration. And in the United Kingdom, more than 50 religious, civic, and community leaders gathered in Watford to reinforce the importance of unity and community engagement. Adventist pastors highlighted the role of faith in promoting reconciliation, hope, and care for others. The meeting demonstrated how collaboration and joint leadership can strengthen social cohesion and offer support to communities at a time when divisions are increasingly visible throughout the country.
Leaders, donors, and volunteers from Maranatha Volunteers International gathered in the Dominican Republic to inaugurate the Seventh-day Adventist Church and School Ciudad de Cielo. The project was dedicated in memory of the late Vice President of Construction of the organization, Daryl Hardy, marks nearly 3 years of work and reinforces Maranatha's long-standing partnership with the Caribbean country.
On July 26, Maranatha Volunteers International, regional Seventh-day Adventist Church leadership, and hundreds of community members dedicated the Ciudad del Cielo school campus in the Dominican Republic. The event marked the end of this large construction project and the exciting beginning of a special school. Maranatha broke ground on the campus in May 2023 to meet a need for Adventist education in this suburb of northern Santo Domingo. Since then, Maranatha volunteer groups and local crews have built a large education and evangelism center with 8 classrooms and an assembly space, an early education building with 5 classrooms, and a large church to seat 400 people. The campus's exterior includes a kindergarten playground, parking space, a sports court, beautiful landscaping, and a plaque in memory of Maranatha's late Vice President of Construction, Daryl Hardy. The Ciudad del Cielo School was one of the last major projects he worked on before passing away unexpectedly in November 2022, and now honors his dedication to stellar construction and the love he poured into each project he worked on. Maranatha Volunteers International is a supporting ministry of the Adventist Church that mobilizes volunteers to build churches, schools, water wells, and other urgently needed structures around the world, including North America. Maranatha has a long history of working in the Dominican Republic. In 1980, after the destruction of Hurricane David, Maranatha constructed 160 houses here. In 1992, the organization coordinated the construction of 25 churches over 70 days. Later efforts occurred in 2003 and 2013, and in 2022, Maranatha returned once more and has been working there since.
Let's now go to Brazil. When a flood destroyed the school where he worked, Washington decided to start over and help in the reconstruction. Today, the school is back in operation, offering children a place to learn, dream, and grow.
Washington's life began at a school his father helped build, and he's been part of its mission ever since. He was born on the campus of Northeast Brazil Academy in 1959. He took his first steps there, played his first games there, and said his first prayers there. For Washington, the school wasn't just a place to learn. It was home. His father was one of the founders of the school in 1943 and among its first graduates. Washington studied, graduated, and eventually built a successful life with his family in the city of Recife. When his son Igor was born, Washington knew the school would be a place where his son could grow in faith. But that dream nearly washed away. In 2000, a flood destroyed Northeast Brazil Academy. Washington was devastated, but he never lost faith. He believed Adventist education would return.
I felt bitter because it was a place where I was born, a place where I received my first education, right? And the school had a motto, educate for eternity. And seeing that rain, that flood, wiping everything out, it hurt in the bottom of my heart a lot.
Years later, he heard the news. God was opening a new door. A new school would be built. Washington knew he had to be part of it, even if it meant leaving behind everything he had built in the city more than an hour from the school. He prayed for a job transfer. His supervisor offered a position in another state, but Washington refused and told the supervisor that he wanted to be near the new Adventist school. His supervisor agreed to his preferred location, and Washington took that as a sign to go. He sold 2 houses and donated the money to the school. He paid tuition for students who couldn't afford it. He even gave away his own home to the school's first principal. He was fully committed to the mission. In 2014, the new Adventist Academy opened, and the first student to walk through the doors, Igor.
The first day of school was fantastic. I didn't go to work. I was there from the beginning. I took photos. I filmed.
I can have the opportunity to say that I've been an Adventist since I was born. And I was the first to be baptized here when the school was formed. And I think it's always been very good for me. It's always shaped my character and the way I think.
Washington's prayers had come full circle. His son was now part of the school that meant so much to him. Today, Washington is retired, but his heart is still with the school. There's just one thing missing: a church. Right now, students worship in an auditorium that isn't sufficient for their needs, and they need a dedicated space.
The creation of this new church will boost the mission school and the creation of new missionaries for world mission.
Your 13th Sabbath offering will help build that church, giving students a place to worship for generations to come. Thank you for your support.
Brazilian professionals came together to care for local communities and inaugurate a church in the Dominican Republic.
Recently, 14 volunteers from Brazil participated in 10 days of mission, leading nearly 260 medical and dental consultations, evangelistic activities, and collaborating in the completion and dedication of the Adventist Church El Rosal II. Maranatha Volunteers International organized the initiative in partnership with the Adventist Medical Association and the Church of the Adventist University Center of São Paulo, Hortolândia campus. The Dominican Republic is one of the regions where Maranatha develops church and school construction projects. The team of doctors, dentists, nurses, pharmacists, and other professionals also organized a vacation Bible school for local children, providing learning, fun, and hope. The entire project was made possible through donations collected in Brazil, which funded medications, toys, school supplies, and improvements in the church, including air conditioning and sound equipment.
ADRA, the humanitarian arm of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, continues to support vulnerable communities in Ukraine, offering food, shelter, medical care, and psychological support. Since the beginning of the Russo-Ukrainian conflict in February 2022, the organization has mobilized its global network to assist displaced, refugee, or conflict-affected individuals, reaffirming its commitment to saving lives and bringing hope where it is most needed.
2 excruciating years ago, we faced the new reality. The reality where the full-scale war has brought a great deal of uncertainty, a lot of pain, and many needs for support.
I came, opened the door, cried, because there was nothing. I sat right on the doorstep, screamed, and cried. What can I do? Who will help me? I had this feeling of great fear. Where will I live? How will I live? What will happen to me?
During these times of uncertainty, when the area of government-controlled Ukraine territories has significantly reduced and the lives of ordinary people are badly affected by the painful implications of the war, ADRA Ukraine, with the support of these numerous international partners, is here to give hope to those who have lost everything. The work we are doing is not only about providing assistance, but also about showing that the human dignity can be maintained and promoted regardless of the ongoing events.
These products are stored here in special conditions according to donors' requirements. Everything comes here from other warehouses all over Ukraine and on different projects. At the moment, we're working in Kupiansk district and representing ADRA to help people in this region. Also, our volunteer team has recently been enriched with people from other countries, in particular Finland, and has become international.
Over these 2 years, thanks to the support provided by our donors, Adra Ukraine has been at the forefront of advocating dignity and saving human lives. Our volunteers have become invisible heroes during this time of great challenge.
Honestly, like you hear, I don't think many people understand how it is to live under the influence of war. It's so different experiencing this in person than just watching the news. The front line is just there, and we could see the smoke, we could hear the explosions, and after experiencing even a little bit of the hard, cold reality that the people live in here, it's just unbelievable to me that some people just don't care, or they think that they don't need to help, because the war is still going on, and that's why Ukraine needs our strong support.
Thank God that there are people who help us, who are there for us. We have already rebuilt the roof and windows, but there is no ceiling, only beams and the floor, and the house needs a stove and wood to heat it. That is a lot of work.
Thanks to our humanitarian project and many people all over the globe who responded to our call for help, the local population in the eastern part of Ukraine now has access to much needed fuel materials. This has contributed to improvement of the living conditions, since now people can heat their homes despite the lack of resources caused by the armed conflict. Thanks to our cooperation with the governmental agencies and humanitarian organizations in 35 countries worldwide, over 2,600,000 people have already received support. Still, despite such a significant progress, the situation is still challenging, and there is a great need for further support of Ukrainians dealing with the implications of the war on the daily basis. Over 17% of Ukrainian territories are now non-government controlled. This area is larger than the territory of Czech Republic or Austria. Yet people continue to sow their fields, risking their lives without even knowing if there will be a harvest.
There's such a compassion and solidarity inside of me that it just drives me. And it's also very inspiring to see the unity that the Ukrainian people have, the strength that they have. They are just fighting the situation that they are in. It's inspiring. I want to be at least trying to be as cool person as any Ukrainian.
International support of Ukraine is crucial to stop the potential crisis in Europe. Provision of financial assistance and other forms of humanitarian aid is a decisive factor to determine the future of both Ukraine in particular and the whole civilized world in general. We have been here since the very beginning. We are still here to serve the people.
This concludes our program for today. To learn more about the Seventh-day Adventist Church, visit adventist.org, and for more news, adventist.news. Until next time, God bless.